Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today, we're in probably a crazy place. We are in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are in the midst of a snowstorm. So I am honored to have this gentleman as a guest. This is my 101st episode, and I figure there's no bigger way to kick off the second 100 videos rather than having Hickok45.
Somebody that's 100 years old, right? Yeah, makes sense.
I didn't say that. All right, listen, before we kick things off, we are going to apply some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. This is super watery.
Is it tasty? All right.
Yes.
I hope this company is called Lead Slingers because they like to sling lead.
They are. Lead Slingers is run by some gentlemen that are combat veterans. And they decided to get into making whiskey, and this is what they make. I've got a bottle for you when we're done here of some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. That's yours. Thanks. Now we can officially shake hands.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now it's official.
It's all official.
I can touch my face now and not catch anything, too.
You know, if you put it behind your ears.
From myself.
Catch anything from yourself. All right, let's go in for a ride. This is going to be interesting, because here we are.
Yeah, it is.
Here we are in Nashville, Tennessee, and there's... I don't know how much snow there is here, but man, people do not know
It's
how to
so
drive
cold, it's not going anywhere. That's the
It's
problem.
not.
Yeah, so
Well, you guys don't have any snow plows.
I guess.
It's got to be
right here.
Got to be a little bit more than that, but
yeah.
On the roads it is messy, and I think we were talking about working this out. You were saying that there aren't any. Are these guys moving or not?
Yeah, slowly.
There aren't any snowplows down here, so you guys just wait until it melts.
Well, not many. We're not geared up in this part of the country to just get out there. And I mean, I've traveled in the Northeast, and I've seen how efficiently that you all get your roads taken care of. We're nothing like that.
Nothing. Oh my gosh.
Because we don't get it that often. So.
I lived here in 1993 for a whopping 7 months, and we were talking with some girl at a place we were at. She ended up taking my jacket, and one of my buddies got her phone number, so we called her up and we're like, hey, listen, we need to, you took our jacket, we want to get ours, and we took yours, we want to swap them back. And there was maybe a half an inch of snow, and she's like, I'm not going out, there's snow outside. We're like, are you kidding me?
A lot of people are like that. It's like Southern California when it rains. A lot of people, they go crazy over rain.
Oh my gosh, but, rain's nothing. All right, so we got Hickok45. You've been a school teacher for a long time.
No, I never did really teach school. yeah, in fact, right there.
Right there, we're driving by Hickok School.
But
hey, girl.
Yeah. Oh, she's taking pictures of us.
She's taking pictures of us. See how famous we are?
Yeah, I taught in the 70s and right out of college for 6 years. 1970s, yeah. And a lot of people think it's the 18. I'll take a left here. This is Mag Drag. But and then I was in other activities I can't tell you about, or I'd have to kill you. But I was involved in traveling and publishing and different things for 10 years, and then came back to teaching in 1990.
Oh, cool!
Right there, in fact. And I taught until 2013 for 23 years.
That's cool.
That's why I'm crazy. I taught a lot of middle school.
Middle school kids do make you crazy. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, that's right. You have experience with that. But,
I do.
Well, see, I had an advantage. I was already crazy. And so they weren't sure what to do with me. I'd let them know, look, you think you're crazy? I can out-crazy you guys any day, so don't test me.
No idea.
And I did with, the viewers know, the lame humor. I mean, the dad humor and all the weird stuff I say. I barrage them with that every day. So they had no hope.
Yeah, that's all right. How did you get into gun stuff? Like you've been shooting for a long time. Some of the guns you've shown on your channel, you used to. I think I've seen some videos where you've used some guns that were your father's and some that you had since you were a kid.
Yeah. That Ward's Western Field, made by Mossberg. It's sold by I guess Montgomery Ward's. I guess where it came from originally, and then in Dad's old Revelation, the 22, made by High Standard, but sold by Western Auto, because he bought that, and Mom bought it for him in 1960. And that's about the time we moved out to the country and had 50 acres, and so I had both of those firearms at my disposal. Pretty much, maybe not as free at 10, but I shot them. But then when I was like 12, I could go walking around the farm. It was sort of a farm. We raised tobacco, but mostly woods, like my place. And I could walk through the woods with a pocket full of 22 rounds and plink with that 22 or that rifle. So that's when I got the bug.
That's cool.
Dad was not a huge gun guy. I mean, those were his, and he liked guns, liked having those guns. But I shot more than he did even back then. But he always liked guns. I got him more into it in his later years, my later years, when I was 30, got into reloading and different things, or even younger when I got into reloading. But I got him into that, and he had a renewed interest in shooting there for a good period of time. But he was never eaten up with it, like I am.
It's interesting that some people really get into it, and some people are just okay, we got some guns, we go shooting.
I think it's like golf or something. You know people who they just live and breathe it, and every time all their gifts are golf centered. They got a Christmas gift, it's some plaque or some cigar holder. It's a golf theme. They just live and breathe it. And other people, I guess, just go shoot golf occasionally. Right.
It's the same thing with the motorcycle guys. You have some guys that are motorcycle guys, you got some guys that are Harley guys, and they're into it, and they know they got a lot of knowledge.
You're right. That's another good analogy. It's a good example, because I had a Harley for, I think a lot of people still don't realize I sold it, but I had one for 4 years. John got one. I kind of liked it. I took the course and got one, and this was just fairly recently, actually, and I had it for 4 years, but I got to where I wasn't riding it that much, and just sit there. And even on a nice day when it'd been perfect for riding, I would just be doing other things, shooting, maybe.
Probably.
And I don't know, it's one of those things with the Harley, they're very heavy.
Oh my gosh.
It was the Road King. You need to either ride it or not, one or the other. It's not good to just once a year get on one of those. And can be more dangerous. So I just
it can be. It's interesting.
You need to stay in practice.
You do. You absolutely do. I learned how to ride a couple years ago with some buddies of mine at their request isn't the right word, but they're like, dude, you should learn how to ride. And to me, it was like a new level of freedom. Because it's me and the motorcycle, and the wind's in your face, and and that was it. So I've actually been working on with my buddies. I've got a Harley dirt bike and a Honda Goldwing.
Oh, damn! You're really into it.
So I think it's pretty cool.
It is. It was fun. It's just one of those things. I didn't have the real bug for it. I would get on it, as I've told viewers. Nice day, I'm gonna go for a ride today. Why am I not riding this? And get geared up and go for. I'd get out about 20 minutes, and okay, this is fun. I'd kind of look for a route back home.
Oh, man.
Whereas if you're really into it, get up early and take the whole day, or go out on 3-day trips. And I did that once, but I don't know. Just wasn't. I like it, but it's like horses. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, is into horses and boards horses, has his own horses in a nice place, and he's just really into horses. And I don't not like horses. I've never been driven to have them. I got a place I could have horses, but
it's not your thing. That's cool, man. That's totally cool. Well, let's talk about your thing. So you were, you got into shooting. You've been shooting for quite a while. You took some time off of teaching, and then.
Oh no! Wait a minute! I didn't take time off when I was teaching.
Time off from.
I never took time off from shooting.
When did you start your YouTube channel?
I think it was 2007.
Yeah.
Along in there. Yeah. We did a post. I think I started it. I might have set up the channel in 2006. You know, just to start one. And to have one, and then it was back, and then is when people were just posting stupid stuff on YouTube, you know, mostly some dumb cat video, it seemed like. That's
Right.
all I knew about anyway. And it got to mess around and posted a video of me shooting through my Honda Element, you know, opening the doors and shooting through it. And that was up there for like almost a year, I think. There's probably
cool.
Viewers, a few would remember that perhaps.
Does it violate community standards now?
Probably, I don't know, maybe not. I didn't know, I don't think
They didn't
so.
have community standards.
You can
back
shoot
then.
cars, I think, if you want to.
Right.
But, I didn't even shoot my car, I just shot through
it.
It was just kind of a lark like you do, you know.
Yeah.
And like shooting a basketball off the roof of your house or something. And something that looked not dangerous, but like I was risking my car.
Sure.
We did one later. I'm shooting through the window of my pickup truck. And, you know, I'm like standing, I don't know, 15 feet away or something, just shooting through the window at a target on my range, and just, you know, again, just something silly to do. We do things that are just kind of goofy occasionally, shoot watermelons and starve people every time we do that, right? But some people think...
Those are organic targets. What are you talking about?
It's so funny. But so, yeah, just, and those videos, that shooting through my Honda, they were up there for a long time, and yeah, and it was never did post anything. It was just something to do, something silly to post.
Right.
So it wasn't until John went off to college and he started watching. He got away from the firearms range, and he didn't realize, oh wow, this is weird, not living on a shooting range. I can't shoot anytime I want. So he got into watching videos or looking for shooting videos. I think he found Nut and Fancy maybe, or maybe he didn't at that time, but he saw some people shooting, and he would watch those, and most of them were not very useful at the time. And
Yeah.
but anyway, I sent him a video that I had done for my students, where I was teaching the novel Shane, so I did a little video on the range there showing the guns of the West, and just on a tripod, and shooting the real cold single action, you know, so I could show my students what a real gun was like that they carried back then and all that. And I sent him a copy of that on CD, I remember it. He said, Dad, you ought to put this on YouTube, do something like this for YouTube. There's not much good stuff on YouTube that he could find.
Yeah.
So I don't know, we sort of started there, went from there. I did something with Glocks and just demonstrating and showing what a Glock 19 is, now it comes apart or something, taking a few shots with it. A couple of things like that were semi, you know, useful maybe, or educational.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had no plan. Just I had a bunch of guns. We'd do about 15 videos. Do a video on shotguns. Do one on lever guns, and that'd be it. You know, just share a little knowledge. You know,
Sure.
I've been messing with these things for a long time, and it's like kind of a why not, kind of fun to do.
What else do you have to do, right?
Yeah, really. And so.
Let's talk about your range in the backyard, because it's a pretty famous place now. When did you build a range in the backyard? Did you build it for the channel? Did you build it for you just like shooting, so you didn't want to?
Oh yeah. As soon as I bought that place in the late 80s or mid 80s, bought that. It's 86. Yeah, I built that. In fact, I selected the land, you know, based on that.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted a place to put a range to shoot. And so that was as we were talking about earlier, the way we got going, it was a little different than people today, thinking of something they could do that'd be interesting on YouTube, useful, like you're doing, something, a clever idea like this, get big ugly people to ride along in the car with you, talk to. And no, you've had some cute people.
I try to get some cute chicks as well.
Yeah, I've seen
I really do.
You got some ugly people like Moss Ayub and me, though. I saw him. No, I'm sorry, Moss, I couldn't resist. But Moss is one of my heroes. He knows.
He really is.
For real. But so there was none of that. We, you know, YouTube wasn't hardly even a thing yet, and we were just kind of as a lark doing it. Didn't know you could, you know, definitely didn't know you could make a penny doing it.
Sure.
And didn't even know after 6 months you could make a penny doing it. Had no intention of that, you know. So it all just started. Basically, we didn't set up to some clever idea. I have to come up with an idea to make YouTube videos with. Right. We mainly just brought the camera outside and filmed what we were already doing. It's kind of the way that started.
That's cool.
And then, you know, with some embellishment, of course, once we realized, wow, there's a lot of people who have no taste. They're coming and watching these things. You know? They didn't figure on that, and so, well, maybe we should make some more. And maybe we don't want to do like a video on all the 4570s that I own. Maybe we do a video on one gun at a time. Maybe that's something that would work. I don't know. So we people seem interested in this, even though we didn't edit. Even back then they weren't select or anything. So
right.
So anyway, that's how it kind of got going, and more people subscribed than should have, and surprised us, and so we just kept doing it.
Kept doing it. Yeah. Very cool. Your son John, does he have any, besides making videos for you? Like did he go to school for this?
Yeah, he went to college, and then he's mostly it's what we do though. Just it's full time for him.
It's his full time gig, but
he does comedy. He's really wanting to be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, that's cool.
So an actual paid stand-up comedian, and
that would be a cool.
And
gig.
He's done a lot of small shows and small segments, and he's working his way into that.
That's
really
cool.
Loves it.
It's but he didn't go to school to become a movie maker or film producer.
No. We just on the job.
Yeah,
how to edit stuff.
I always tell people when I first started editing, doing my shows and editing them, all I wanted to know, it's a horrible analogy, but it completely works. I always tell people I felt like a terrorist because I just wanted to know how to edit 3 cameras and that's it. Like I don't want to know how to do anything else. I don't want to do anything fancy. It's like learning. I don't need to land a plane. I just want to fly it.
Yeah, really.
That's all I want to do.
Well, we sort of fell into it that way because neither one of us knew how to edit to begin with, if we wanted to. And I don't know, it just seemed more natural to do it the way we're doing it, and people seem to like it. I think there's so many slick things now. Every time you pick up your phone and look at videos, or you turn on the television, whatever it is, everything is Fifth Avenue slick, The best psychology goes into it, the best editing, the prettiest people,
right.
And everything, clickbait, whatever it all is. And we're barraged with that all day long. So I think I could try to analyze it, but as an amateur, but I think it surprised us, but I think that's one of the reasons that people weren't just turned off by our approach. And yours, what you do, this is raw pretty much. I mean, you got to coordinate the video, but it's just a couple of dummies sitting here talking. I think there's I hate to use the word market, but there's an interest in that kind of thing because everything is so scripted, so slick. Like you and I, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We might talk about that snow on that tree. So
there is a lot of it.
So there's an appeal, I think, to something that's a little more real.
I don't want to toot my horn about my own platform here, but what I like about it is because it's 2 people in a car having a conversation.
Yeah.
That's it. And I've had people say, well, what do we talk about? We're going to talk about whatever comes up.
I think that's one of the appeals of, there's a lot of really popular podcasts now. A lot of people are doing podcasts, and that's one of the appeals. Whether it's Adam Carolla, whoever it is, or Joe Rogan, or whoever, you get somebody on there, and they're for maybe an hour or 2 or 3 hours, and they're just seemingly talking. Things will sort of come to mind. Of course, the interviewer has some questions and things, but
it's
just you kind of get you get more of a real feel for who that person
how people are. Absolutely. Are you a big fan of Adam Carolla?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. I love Adam Carolla.
I do too. He's just so funny.
Oh my gosh.
His humor and everything, and he's so smart.
He really is smart. I got to pull ping pong balls from a hopper at the Wilbur Theater on stage with Adam Carolla.
Oh, did you?
I did. He hates the song Man Eater, and I did a gungram of Man Eater for someone, and he was coming to Boston. I already had tickets to go see him, and they said they were looking for people to pull ping pong balls so he could rant about something. So I sent him a video of
so he could rant.
Yeah, and he was calling it Adam Carolla is Unprepared.
Oh, man.
And I sent him the video, and I sent him a video of the Man Eater gungram, and I sent it to his producer and said, hey, listen, I'm interested in being a guy, and this is what I do. And I got an email, and it was a producer, and he's like, hey, listen, Adam wants to have you on today. He wants to talk to you about pulling the ping pong balls at in Boston. It was great. So I got to be on his show, and then they're like, all right, you're in.
Oh man!
So I got to hang out on stage with Adam Carolla and read ping pong balls to him.
Yeah, so. I really enjoy him. I enjoy some people that I don't even agree with on some things. Like Joe Rogan catches a lot of flack, but he is so good at what he does, and I don't agree with him on some of his gun control stances or his, even though he's a hunter and a shooter to some extent, and he reaches a lot of people that you and I don't reach. So I feel like that's part of his benefit. But I've learned so much about people he interviews, whether it's Rob Lowe, Matthew McConaughey. I've watched some of those recently, and I thought, wow, it's just such a great format because you really get to know those people, and at least you feel like you do.
Right, you really do. The first big name person that I interviewed was Ken Blanchard. I don't know if he is the black man with a gun.
Yeah.
And I listened to his show for a long time. All right, we're passing this guy. I listened to his show for a long time, for probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And then I started riding shotgun, and I reached out to him, and I said, I want to come down to DC and get you in the car and drive around and interview. He wrote back to me in 2 hours. He's like, great, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, man.
It's a great format. It worked for Seinfeld. Needs something.
I know, right?
Yeah. But, yeah, something different. Anyway, it's a weird world of entertainment, and everybody now can be and is a publisher, and so it's tough to find a niche that works.
That works, yeah.
But if it were, people ask us, what any advice on starting a YouTube channel? We even did an FAQ video on it.
I didn't want to ask him.
We don't have a lot of advice really, other than do something you like, you enjoy, because people may come and watch, or they may not. You may get big numbers, you may not. Just like us, we didn't know if anybody would care. It didn't even set out to get an audience. Or it's just kind of a weird way it started. So you never know.
You never know. Did you? You've been a teacher for a long time. Did you get to the point where the channel took off? Like there must have been some crossover when you were still being a teacher, and you probably had some Hickok45 sightings around town.
Oh yeah. Students and they were aware of it. It got to a point where I could tell we'd been into it about 4 years or 5, and that I am not going to be able to teach as long as I had maybe planned to. I had planned to teach 2 or 3 more years maybe.
Yeah.
But this was we were getting some income from it, and it was getting really busy trying to do it, and do the videos and teach as well and everything. And then I was teaching English and a lot of grading to do, and it was just I just at one point I knew I was going to need to take one fork of the other.
Right.
And so I gave them 2 years notice. So not many people give 2 years notice when they're going to resign, but I did, and I left, and so we started doing full time. It was a smart move because we were able to devote more time to this project, and even I don't know, just that's about the time we started getting some sponsorship, and I don't know if that would have happened or not, but we were able to just kind of talk. Most of our sponsors contact us, but we were able to work with that and meet with people, just do things, go to SHOT Show. It's hard for me to go to SHOT Show, for example, when I was teaching, because it was right there when the second semester was kicking off. And, by the way, I need to be gone for a week or 2.
Right, I gotta take a week off.
So I never did go to SHOT Show until that first year of teaching, and so it was kind of interesting. The last day I taught was like May the 25th or something, 2013, I guess. And I'd been asked to speak at a Second Amendment rally in Philadelphia, right there in Independence Mall, and like I'm a great speaker or something, right? But we got in the car, literally. I gave awards, presented awards in the assembly that day, and we were kind of on a time schedule. John was out in the parking lot, and I walked out and had everything ready and got in the car, and we drove to Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh.
And then did that, and that sort of kicked off full-time Hickok45.
That's awesome.
Including making lame speeches occasionally.
Oh, please. Yeah, you spoke in D.C. a couple years ago at the two-way rally for your rights.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. That was just before we invaded the Capitol, right? No, we were very nice. We didn't break in. We just. So
I went down. I went down with a bunch of my friends, and I took a bus with the Holly Sullivan and the folks from the Connecticut Citizens Defense League.
Okay.
And they It was the same day as the Washington Nationals Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. It was a busy day there.
It was. Not the Super Bowl. What's the other one? The World Series.
Yeah.
They had a parade, and I want to say, I remember reading reports that said that the gun owners came down. We did our rally in front of the Capitol, and where the parade route was, there was trash all over the place. Where the gun folks were, it was a nice, clean area.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it really does. Gun folks really are the nicest people.
We are. We didn't break into anything.
Nothing. Cleaned up our own mess.
Yeah, it's well, there's a certain discipline that comes with shooting. It doesn't apply to everybody, of course, but people that are really serious into firearms and Second Amendment supporters, and constitutionally aware, and all that sort of thing. Some of the best people, in the country.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, we have what, over 100 million gun owners, and of course, that's good and it's bad. It's so mainstream now that you're going to have some slugs and slackers in the group.
Yeah.
Look on social media. You look at the idiots, or whatever you want to call them. They're going to be people that have guns, because you don't have to pass any sort of integrity or intelligence test to buy a gun. Look at me.
Right.
They let me buy them.
All right, we're driving down the middle of the road here.
Yeah, I know. That's the weird thing about snow day. You get some of it clear and some of it not.
Some of it's clear. I think we should turn around.
Okay, you could take a left here, then we could.
I think we're just going to do a bang at you. Right in the middle of the road.
You can do that if you want.
Because we had.
Yeah, just saying we're almost to this little town of Franklin. There's a town square too. If you want to just go around the square.
All right, let's do that. Holy moly!
And you'll have to hold me in the car because it'll be past a ice cream shop. We want to get out of the car.
I made as a young boy, I made a career decision on ice cream.
Did you?
I did. My mother used to take us out for ice cream after band concerts, and so I did the math as an 11-year-old kid that played the trombone. I'm like, you know what? I like ice cream, and when I play the trombone, I get ice cream.
There you go.
I think I'm going to be a trombone player.
Like a plan.
Right.
I'm ruining my grandson that way. He likes ice cream, and it's funny. He's like 4.5 or 4, not even 4.5, but he was like 3 or 3.5. I taught him the signal because I like ice cream. So we'd be out running around Nashville, and I told him one day when he was really too young to understand. He was really smart. I said, "Hey guy, when you see me do this, if I grab both of my ears, I want you to say, I'd like some ice cream." And it really was cool. It worked. He did it a couple of times. So I'd do it, and he'd just pop up from the car seat. I want ice cream. So that took the blame off me. See?
Right.
So I would say, "Oh, really? I'm not sure we have time, man, for ice cream. But okay, if you really want it." So he still does that to this day.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Fortunately, there's not many people out. We sort of have the road to ourselves.
I know. It is kind of a nice thing.
Does that mean we're dumb or we're smarter than they are?
I don't know.
One or the other.
It's just driving. People down here don't know how to drive in the snow.
No, and like you say, it's not cleared off.
Right.
Part of the problem too is not only do we not get snow like this, it's usually not this cold either. I mean, it's like what, 12 degrees or something.
It's 12 degrees is what my car says.
Okay, yeah. So it's usually melted, by now.
Yeah, I started thinking about all this with all this weather going on. Is this guy pulling over, or they just?
He's got 4-wheel drive.
Dude, he's got 4-wheel drive. All right, so I have.
Should have 4-wheel drive in that thing.
He ought to have 4-wheel drive. All right.
Why don't you drive up there and curse at him? Try out the window. I'll open the window and you can curse at him. Maybe your viewers will be impressed.
Oh my goodness. I will say I have never been pulled over when I'm filming.
That'd
God.
be good, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, real good.
Hey, officer, you might not want to know this, but you're on camera.
We're both armed. Oh my goodness. Do we have to tell people here in Tennessee if we're pulled over?
I don't think it's mandatory.
Think so. Yeah.
They know though. They check your plate, I believe so.
Right.
They know where you are.
All right.
Where you getting to?
We're doing 14 miles an hour, for God's sakes.
We're almost there, Frank. When everybody has a gun, it's just like if I were a policeman in Tennessee and I pulled somebody over, I mean, why would I need to ask them? I would just assume they're armed.
Right, it's safe to assume.
It's like Texas.
Right.
And plus, if you're a police officer, you need to assume everybody's armed.
Of course.
I mean, before you walk up to the car, you need to assume the worst to some extent. I mean, you don't be too paranoid. But.
All right, so I got 2 issues with the car. I'm not changing topics. I got 2 issues with the car in front of us. One,
New York? Is that what
yes, I just picked up on that myself. They have New York plates. They ought to know how to drive in this, for God's sakes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, really.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
This is like what I was telling you about pulling from my house. There was someone going that speed, and the road was covered with snow, and there was nobody anywhere. Like, okay, you can actually get above 6 miles an hour.
You really
without
can.
going off the road. Although I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Some people are bad about keeping their tires. You know, they'll get bald tires, and they need to be going slow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first time I've had a rear-wheel car. I can't even say it. A rear-wheel drive car.
Oh yeah, it's rare these days.
It really is, and I did get some snow tires, and I certainly can't take the blame for the snow, but I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I got the snow tires. It hasn't snowed, and now it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, really.
All right.
Yeah, nobody buys snow tires here.
Yeah. All right, where can I turn around?
You can turn around anywhere in the market if you want.
All right.
Or like I said,
I don't know where the entrance
or wait till we
is
get to the square up here.
All right, let's wait to the square. Could be 10 minutes with this guy.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are some of your favorite videos that you've enjoyed? I've been watching Hickok45 videos for 2 weeks since we set this up, and I sit there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch 2 or 3 episodes or 2 or 3 shows, and I call it research. You've reviewed a boatload of guns.
Yeah, I guess we have over the years. I enjoy most firearms. I probably enjoy the classic firearms a little more. Like whether it's a lever gun or a single actions and muzzle loaders. As far as actual shooting and messing with it, something that's historical is always appealing to me. You have to work on the road on top of everything else. But I enjoy the modern guns too.
What a guy.
Yeah. Occasionally there'll be a firearm that is like new and people are asking a lot of questions about it. Maybe Remington comes out with a new handgun or something, or something is not as mainstream maybe. Not as strong a reputation, but a lot of people are curious and are requesting us to get to review, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not something I like a lot. There's nothing I definitely would ever purchase. I'm not even all that impressed with it, but just because I'm so altruistic, I take the bullet, review it for our viewers. I mean, really, to some extent, you do. I mean, we really appreciate the viewers and enabling us to make a living shooting. Wow, not everybody can do that.
Concept, man.
And so we base a fair amount of it on what gets requested as well.
Yeah. So people will just write to you and say, hey, listen, would you review one of these?
Yeah, sometimes on Facebook, but it's often just in comments. I skim comments and
Baskin
there's that
Robbins,
Baskin
31 flavors.
Yeah, stop if you want to.
Are they open? You want to?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
See if they're open.
All right, are they open? No one's in the street. They are not open. Oh, sons of a gun.
They teased us.
Nothing. This is the crazy thing.
Yeah, watch these cannon, man. They'll shoot you.
These are pointed in an unsafe
direction. This is Franklin, Tennessee.
There's another.
Talk about historical. There's a big battle took place here.
Yeah, they left the cannons.
Yeah, they sure did.
This is really cool.
I lived here. I mean, when I moved down here, that's where I lived and taught for through the 70s. It's changed a lot. But
should we get in this guy's camera twice?
There you go.
Why not, right? What the heck?
You want to go back that way too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to go around twice.
We're going to go around twice. We're going to get in that guy's video twice. Here, you want us to snap a picture here? We'll grab a selfie in front of the cannons.
Sure.
All right. Uno momento.
Always been a fan of
Moss. Oh my God, yeah.
And it was one of the biggest thrills in my life to meet him. We were because I started reading his books in the early 70s, about the time he started writing them, I guess. And so my earliest days of really being into guns, as soon as I got out of college, I encountered a couple of his books in a gun shop in Nashville. And, bought them in the Greatest Extreme and remember the others. But he impressed me. And but anyway, I'd never met him. When I've read his articles, on handgun and everything. He's written in 1 million magazines. I think he's got 5 clones to do everything he does. But we were at NRA meeting, I guess. Maybe it was Dallas. I don't know. But this was just a couple, 3 years ago. And I always have it on my mind, people like that I'd like to meet. But I just never run into them. And there's huge crowds. But I'll be darned, we were sitting up on a mezzanine having a lunch or something, and I looked down there. I was watching people, and I saw him come out a door and start walking down a hallway. Oh my gosh, that is Montague. And I literally ran down the escalator and said my thing, and I caught him. I just wanted to say hi and shake his hand. And being the dummy I am too, I had to think, well, this is Montague. Any of these luminaries like that, I think, okay, he probably has seen a video or 2 of ours or something, and thinks I'm a total idiot, because this guy really is a scholar.
It's the real deal,
and this guy actually has a brain. So I'm running a risk even introducing myself or even saying hi to these people.
Gosh.
I always have this, well, he's like, oh yeah, I know you. Yeah, man.
That is so...
You need a lobotomy, or apparently you've already had one. But no, he was a really nice guy. He's familiar with what we do, and was very gracious, and just great to run into him.
It's really cool. Yeah, he was on my list, and then Kevin Sona is from the Florida Carry, and he was organizing a Florida Carry event. And he says, hey, listen, I want you to come down and speak. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And he's like, you can have some of the other people as guests on the show. Sounds great, man. Sounds like a good plan. And then he says, Mass is coming down. He's going to be one of the speakers as well. I'm like, wow. He's like, do you think I can get Mass in the car? He's like, probably. So I gave him a call. And I met him at the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Tampa in 2016, and I had him sign my copy of In the Gravest Extreme. And I said, I have, this is what I do. I'd love to have you on the show sometime. He gave me his phone number. He's like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. And I'm like, oh. So
I've got his card and number too. It's really neat. I mean, because I don't know. It's you have to be a gun person to appreciate it, don't you? You just really do.
So again, going back to being a kid that played the trombone, all of the people, the musical heroes I had, the trombone players I wanted to meet, I always had to tell people,
Glenn Miller,
right? Oh my God, these are the guys that I think are really cool. And people are like, who is that? I'm like, never mind. And then it's the same thing with the gun world. You're like, I want to have Masada Ayub in the car. Like, Masada Ayub sounds like a terrorist.
I could do an invitation. Let's see if I'm like talk deep enough. He's a character. He really is.
He was great.
He's so much common sense, when it comes to firearms issues.
Oh my gosh,
just defensive stuff.
Yeah, he's a guru. He really is.
Yeah, good guy. I did meet one gun writer because I've read gun magazines my whole life, it seems, and I know all the writers. As far as reading them, Mike Venturino, people I've read a lot. Skeeter Skelton, guys from the old school and new school. And it's neat. Mike Bolivier, I think you pronounce his name. He has a gun channel and does some cool stuff with old guns. I ran into him at SHOT Show, talked to him. It was great to meet him. I was going to say, I did meet one gun writer whose articles I've read, whose books I've read, and really respect a lot. Just a great writer, a lot of good work. That just was a real disappointment, to meet in person. And and I try to remember that too. That and I don't know, he might have been having a bad day.
All right.
But anyway, everybody you meet is maybe not what you expected, but that's the way it goes.
These things happen. How often? All right, back to the biz. How often do you put shows out?
How often what?
How often do you put shows out?
Videos about 3 a week.
About 3 a week. Wow, that's a lot of content.
Yeah. But they're not heavily edited. It's mostly all in preparation.
It is. Like everyone that I do, I'm like, man, this man is a wealth of knowledge. I watched one where you're talking about your favorite 357s, and you're like, well, the 357 is really it's a 36 caliber bullet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of knowledge into the whole thing, which is probably why I thought you were a history teacher, because you tie in the history really well with all the information about the guns and the brands and the history of the guns and all that sort of stuff.
Mostly firearms history, but then again, with a lot of firearms, the history of maybe the wars it was used in, or those sorts of things. A period of time is relevant. I always feel like that's what I find so appealing about some of the firearms, whether it's my old 1850 Mississippi rifle, made in 1850, or whatever it is. It's interesting to know when those firearms were used, made, and the circumstances of the times, and then share that, a fair amount of it, a little bit of it. I don't go as deep, obviously, as Ian from Forgotten Weapons.
Oh, yeah,
he's a master at that, and that's kind of what he does. But I like to give some context of, the firearm.
Yeah, so you spend a lot more time doing that sort of work for prep work.
Whatever research is necessary. It's usually not too extensive. There's a certain amount of information I want to share, and I want to try to get it right, but not too in depth to where I've got to have notes and all that sort of thing, and have to edit, and everything. So I'll read up on the gun I'm about to do, especially with something I'm not that familiar with, and then kind of have in my mind the main points I want to share with the audience, and go from there. But it's just mainly I'm a shooter. I'm a shooter. I really enjoy firearms, and I'm not the ultimate authority on any of them. Don't claim to be. Not an expert really in anything, as I've said many times. I'm a jack of all trades. I just really enjoy firearms, and over the years I've picked up a lot of it just through osmosis. I've just picked up a lot of fair amount of knowledge about the firearms, just reading articles and shooting and owning so many different firearms, hand loading, and you just pick up things, and so it's just through the sheer years,
through time. It's time and getting reps in, doing all the repetitions and getting all that stuff in.
And, I guess I was too dumb to be nervous about. Although if I look at a really old video, some of the first one, I did seem kind of nervous, but it was I think mostly from talking to a camera. Talking to a camera is so different than talking to people, because I taught school, and I wasn't Ralph Waldo Emerson or anything presentations, but I was not nervous teaching, and I'm not as nervous as actually I appeared in some of those early videos.
His car here.
I think it takes a while to get used to just talking to the camera, because it's so weird.
Yeah, you're as a teacher, when you're interacting with people, you expect some sort of a head nod, maybe check the drool to make sure it's coming off one side of the kid's mouth. You get some sort of reaction from people, and some sort of confirmation that you're getting through to them. And on video, you're not able to do that.
It's not so much that there are. I think a lot of people that haven't done it think that it's those thousands of people watching, or hundreds of thousands, or millions, or whatever they're going to be watching. That's really never on my mind. It's just kind of weird talking to that piece of glass. It's just an oddball kind of thing to do. And I guess it's fortunate that I'm too dumb to be nervous about it, really. The only thing I'm nervous about sometimes is that I'm going to forget to share something important about this firearm. That I want to make sure I remember that, because we don't edit. And I made a few mistakes, said maybe something wrong, misspoke, or forgot to share something that was pretty important, I thought. But that's kind of the price you pay for keeping it real, as they say.
Keeping it real.
You're unedited, so it's a price you pay.
That's cool.
But we enjoy doing it that way. John's got really good at doing it that way too. And it's not easy. I mean, in a way it is, but then it is different for a lot of people. Because if you imagine doing a video about a firearm, whatever you're going to do, and knowing it's like kind of going down the hill in that sled or whatever, there's no turning back. Okay, once you turn the camera on,
That's it.
Yeah,
like
okay.
It's
25 minutes later or 30 minutes later, you know, you turn that camera off, and whatever you said,
whatever you got is what you got.
Whatever, yeah, that's going to be printed. That's in there. Got malfunctions or whatever. So,
have you had any big malfunctions? Any big jams or anything?
Yeah, we've had a few. Now we typically don't have a lot of gun problems, so
right.
You have good ammo and take care of the firearms. But we've had a few things like the Colt Python. I think Colt's still mad at me for that, probably.
All right, Dish. I didn't see this one. I did see what happened to the Glock 18.
Yeah.
What happened to the Colt Python?
It was kind of the same thing. It was near the end of the video. It got out of whack, and the cylinder would not advance. You know?
Really?
And it's a problem they had with I don't know what the number is of them, but apparently they have fixed it. It was not a serious design flaw apparently, because we got that same gun back and it was fine, and I had a different one that was fine, and And I think if you look around the internet, it seemed to be a big deal when that happened, when they first came out, because the 3 or 4 people that had problems were obviously making a big deal out of it on the internet.
This is the new Python?
Yeah, the new Python, the 2020 Python. But in terms of numbers, I don't think that many people had it. I don't know what they did. They may have even called a lot of them back from distributors to redo them. I don't know. I don't know, but they fixed it. So, we did a follow-up, and nothing against Colt.
Sure. The one that I saw where you had an issue was you're shooting the Glock 18.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're hard to find, and so on and so forth. And then the part of the slide where the guide rod goes through broke off.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Well, I know that probably hurt the sale of Glock 18s too in Tennessee. No, yeah, that was unfortunate. We weren't really quite done with the video, but when the gun broke, we were done with the video.
It was over.
But so that's why we went and printed. We were mostly done, and I had a stock there I was going to put on it and all that, but we got it back. They have fixed it. And so we're going to do a follow-up maybe this weekend.
Oh, cool.
If we ever get out of this kind of weather.
Gosh. To own the Glock 18 down here, is it something that they can send to you?
Glock 18 is a difficult thing to own for anybody. You have to be a dealer, have licenses, and we have an affiliation with a dealer, someone with a license that we can do that. So that's the only reason. Yeah, totally legal. The average person essentially cannot own a Glock 18. No matter how much money you have, there aren't that many of them, if any, that are transferable. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when I watched that video.
Yeah. So Silencer Central, the company owns several machine guns, so hopefully we'll be demonstrating a few others. The Glock 18 is appealing because it's so hard to get. Sure. And interesting. Now, we had done some videos a few years back with converted Glock 17 from Silencer or from NC Silencer when we worked with them, and we shot that thing. We shot 1,000 rounds through it, and it's fun and very interesting. Yeah. They're very controllable for what they are. You would think you just wouldn't be able to control it, because it fires fast, cycles very fast.
I went to a machine gun shoot in October down in Pennsylvania, and it was really interesting to me because all these guys have, these businesses came down, and you paid $25, $30, $35, $40 to go through a magazine. Yeah. And I went through a magazine with a Glock 18 and with a BAR. Oh. which was
cool.
really cool.
You got to shoot 2 cool ones.
Oh my gosh, it was great. I got
they
a
are
friend to get a video. It was a little intimidating, and of course I'm thinking to myself,
heavy.
this is what Bonnie used to shoot, for God's sakes.
Man, can you imagine guys carried those around?
Nuts, man. Yeah, that was a big, heavy gun.
Yeah,
A little scary to shoot, but it was really cool.
That is, there's one in, you may be familiar with the one at Knob Creek, south of Louisville.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's a cop car, right?
Yeah.
Doing under the speed limit, everything will be fine.
They have one every, well, they generally have one every fall and spring.
Yeah.
And COVID has shut that down.
Oh, great.
Pretty much the last 2 or 3 of them, but
yeah,
that's what that is. You can go up there and pay and shoot almost anything, even a 50 BMG, pay your money.
All right. So I mentioned before that I've never been pulled over. The cop car that we just passed did a U-turn right in the middle of the road. No lights are on yet.
Yeah.
This could be a momentous occasion in the history of riding shotgun with Charlie.
Yeah, it's Brentwood Police. It's
oh my goodness. I've got out-of-state plates from a Yankee state, and I've got cameras in the car. Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious at all.
Well, you can pull up a video and show him.
Right? Hey, look, really, I'm Charlie from Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Look, you can watch. I'll give him a sticker and a patch. Maybe he'll get myself out of a ticket.
Yeah, really.
Oh my goodness.
Be lucky he'd know me. A lot of cops watch our videos, but they either know it. That's the way it is in general. People either know you or they don't at all. It's just funny.
Yeah. Cool. Too fun, man. Too fun.
No lights on, so you must.
No lights. So this is good, right? This is good. We're just gonna keep going. Did I ask you about having some favorite guns, right?
Yeah.
I had having some favorite guns.
Favorite videos or guns. Yeah, the Colt single action is one of my all-time favorites. I love the old 1911s. Lever guns. I really have a special feeling for those.
Yep.
And some muzzle loaders, all that. But I like AR-15s and Glocks and SIGs. If it feels good and shoots well, it's
right.
Great.
I like shooting. I'm not.
Now there is another Baskin Robbins up here on the left. If you have a Jones for ice cream.
It is after 12 o'clock. Do we have to take this left?
No, I'll tell you
Keep straight.
It's a little plaza up
I don't want to turn real quick. Oh, good. The cop's taking a left, so maybe he's good.
He may have seen that on the hood and wondered what the hell.
Wonder what the hell's going on.
Yeah. If you turn,
too funny.
Let's see. I think it's where this. It's this light, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, that goes up into that.
Let's see if this Baskin Robbins is open. I see a Baskin Robbins sign.
May not be.
Papa John's Pizza is open.
It's up here on the left, not too far on the left side up there.
Is this a road?
Yeah.
It's a fun game we have in Nashville. Where's the road?
There is the first business almost.
Hey, and there's cars in front of it.
Looks like they're open. It's a good sign, Carson. Oh well. It's another tease.
Man.
You can circle around up here if we can see where it is. Yeah, around this lamp here.
All right. You know what? Let's wrap things up here.
Yeah, we're close.
We're close back to the Cracker Barrel. All right, we're gonna pull over here and just wrap things up. Maybe we'll do a couple of donuts.
Then the cop might come back for you for sure.
All right. Well, listen, Hickok, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to hang out.
Well, thank you. It's good to meet you. Good to meet you. And hi to all your viewers. They're probably smarter than our viewers because they're watching you instead of me. See, right now they're watching this instead of watching me.
Those bastards. Well. We got to get more of your people to watch mine. That's what it is. It's funny that it's funny to me as the guy who does the gun grams. My friends will tell other people, they're like, "Oh, Charlie does gun grams," and they're like, "What's a gun gram?"
Yeah.
So then I got to go back and explain it to people. So this is what it is.
It's such a that's the thing. You could do some really amazing stuff on YouTube, whether it's guns or anything, and I think it's difficult to get started and to get seen. I mean, it's a crowded field.
It is.
Everybody is doing something. I'll come across a video on a firearm. I'm researching and looking up something, And there'll be a guy, he may have, you know, 1,000 subscribers, and I think, wow, that guy's good. You know, I mean, it's just get, you know, some people just getting started, and it's just hard to get known, and it's a crowded world out there.
It is, and I'm one of these guys. I want everything to grow organically. I don't want to pay for subscribers and people.
I understand you can do that. How do you do that?
Well, it takes money.
I mean, yeah, but
I have no, like, I don't.
Why would you want? I never understood why someone would want to buy a subscriber. They're not going to come back and watch your videos,
right? I don't think so.
Like, what do you gain by that?
Nothing. I think you get numbers to look really cool and fancy, and then that's it.
Okay, I guess.
Anyway, listen, we want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Again, it was great to have Hickok45 on the show down here in Tennessee, in a snowy Tennessee.
The sunny South.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the only thing sunny was our eggs, sunny side up.
Yeah, really.
I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Please like and subscribe to the show, and subscribe to it on YouTube, because we're trying to build the growth there. But you can also watch the show on Gunstreamer, and you can watch it on the Ops Lens app. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on iHeartRadio. And, you know, we got a Facebook page, we got a YouTube channel. Please make sure that you also check out the Self-Defense Radio Network. It is sdrn.us. It is all of your pro-freedom podcasts in one place. And for you, I got a couple of these for you, Mr. Hickok. I have a couple of Riding Shotgun with Charlie patches. I don't know. I get one for you and one for John.
Okay.
So there's the Riding Shotgun with Charlie patch.
Appreciate it.
I have some Riding Shotgun with Charlie stickers. People dig stickers.
All right.
I got a couple of Gungram stickers. Here's the Gungram, right? That's me blowing the trumpet and shooting blowing the trumpet and shooting a gun. And then these are not TSA safe, so don't try it. It's a credit card knife with the Riding Shotgun with Charlie logo. And I also have my last bottle of Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. Leadslingers.com is where, leadslingers.com, leadslingerswhiskey.com. I'll put a link. They are not selling hand sanitizer anymore, and they do not want you to drink. It says right here, do not drink. So I'm gonna have to fight you to not drink this. But they do make a number of other adult beverages, so you need to check them out. And so you'll take that with you. Again, thank you so much, Hickok. This was great.
Good to meet you.
We'll see you guys next time.